Suhail this side. Welcome back to my channel. So this would be a quick doubt clearing video on the Kafka 0 to Hero series. So without wasting time, let's get started. So I got some of the messages on LinkedIn regarding few of the doubts. So I'm clearing all those doubts. So first doubt was about the Kafka cluster, the leaders and followers. So I have tried to visualize you as much as possible. So for that purpose I have drawn a simple image where I can make you visualize that this could be different Kafka brokers. For example, this could be one broker, right? This could be another broker, right? This could be another broker, not this one. This could be another broker, right? So all this, the group of brokers forms a cluster, right? So Kafka cluster is nothing but a group of servers, right? So that is as simple, right? Now the main doubt was, okay, so if we have three topics, for example, the order events, notification events, and the product events, just to make you visualize, just imagine the green color is representing the order events, the red color representing the notification events, and the blue color represents the product events. So these are the three topics which have been created in this Kafka cluster. Now the one broker can contain all the topics, or the one broker can contain only one topic. It all depends on where the topic has been allocated, which broker has been allocated for that topic. Who will decide that? The controller will decide that. Now who is the controller in our case? This is the node which is controller in our case. For example, the blue one, right? So this is the controller. So it will decide that, okay, for this topic this nodes would be handling this topic, and for this topic these nodes would be handling this topic. For example, this controller has already decided, as and when we create the topic, it will decide that this topic will be assigned to these many brokers, right? And similar for the notification events, this controller has already decided that which are the brokers who will handle the notification events topic. Now who are the leader and followers in this case? Now when we create the Kafka topic, usually with the replication factor command, right? Now when, as I already mentioned there in the second video, when we create the topic and if we specify the replication factor, at that point of time the so many instances of the Kafka topic would be created, right? So for example, if we have a replication factor 3, so there will be 3 instances of the topics. So one could be the leader, the other could be followers. Now for example, the green color one, the order events, if you see here, if replication factor is 3, so 3 instances of the same topic. So 3 instances of the same topic, for example, it would be distributed among 3 brokers, right? So this topic would be replicated across 3 brokers. So for example, if this broker somehow dies, right? So but still we have the 2 brokers which are running, so we don't have data loss. So that is the benefit of replication factor, right? So now the main question could be, who would be the primary? So primary, let's assume for order events, this is the primary broker, right? Now one broker can be the primary for order events, or one broker can be primary for or primary or leader for single topic. For example, in this case, the case first could be this single broker could be leader for only the order events, right? Now the replicas, who are the replicas for this? If you see here, these are the replicas for this order event topic. Similar to this for notification events, these are the replicas, right? And the primary node is this one, right? And similar for product events, this is the primary, right? This is the primary for product events. This is the leader for this product event, and other one are the followers, right? Now the other case could be one broker can be leader for multiple topics. This could be another case, right? For example, in this case, this single broker, it could be a primary or it could be a leader for both the topics, order events as well as the notification events. So both can be possible. It is not like that one broker can handle only one topic. So that is never the case. So it could be possible that one broker could be leader for a multiple topics, right? So that was the main doubt. That is how it is actually. It's up to the controller. The controller decides which broker would handle the which topics. So that is all it is. Now the second doubt was, okay, how the replicas got created, that I already mentioned, using the replication factor. Now in the third video, in the Kafka Docker setup video, so there we have I'll show you in this command as well. For example, I have shown you there the Docker file, right? How I have created the image, right? And this start.sh file I have created for the for starting the Kafka server, right? Now this is, in this image I have mentioned the cluster ID and two more commands before starting up the server, right? Kafka server. Now why these two commands are necessary, this was also one of the doubt. Now let me explain you why. Now you got clear understanding of Kafka cluster. Now what happens actually in large organizations, we may have multiple Kafka cluster. For example, Facebook India data center might have one Kafka cluster, Facebook US data center might have another Kafka cluster. So for example, this is cluster ID 1, this is another cluster, this is cluster ID 2. Now all the services who are running in the India data center would publish their messages into the India cluster. So that is the India data center cluster, right? So the cluster ID is actually the identifier that, okay, these topics belong to this cluster and these are the topics belong to this cluster. So cluster ID is actually the identifier which we need to provide while running the Kafka cluster, so that while communicating, when the topics will register or when we will publish the message onto the topic, and when the topic internally has to replicate the messages across other brokers, so it will say there, okay, I belong to this cluster, I belong to this cluster. For example, this topic has to send message to this topic in cluster ID 2. So for between this communication, it would need to mention, okay, I am belonging to this cluster 1 and destination is the cluster 2. This is where the cluster ID is actually mandatory and it is required there. Based on this cluster ID, Kafka servers identify, okay, this is the message which is coming from another cluster. So that is why we need cluster IDs. Now the other thing is, what else we need to require before starting up the Kafka server, that is the formatting the storage. Why we need to format the storage? Let me show you in the code as well. So I have shown you there, along with data, right, we have the multiple other things as well. For example, these are the topics, the consumer offsets, right, cluster metadata. So remember, Kafka is a stateful application, right? So format the storage is not like you are formatting the disk, the whole disk gets cleaned. No, it doesn't mean like that. It just means that what all we need to what all directories or metadata files we need to have before starting up the Kafka server. It is just like, you can say, before inserting the data into the SQL, you need to have some kind of metadata, or you can say some kind of schema available, right? So there is actually the commands which we do, but here for formatting, Kafka provides a simple command. Okay, this is how you can just, if by chance these directories are not present, you can just run this command and it will create all the necessity directories. So, and one more thing, it will just, if the directories are not present or the metadata files are not present, then only it would format the storage. Otherwise, if Kafka, while running up the Kafka cluster, while starting up the Kafka cluster, Kafka internally sees, okay, this has been already been created, all the required files or metadata files or directories are already there, so this command would be ignored. So this command would be ignored in that case. So that was all the purpose for this. And finally, we start the Kafka server by mentioning the server.properties. So that was all I need to cover in this video. So see you in next video. Thanks a lot, and please do like and comment. And so guys, one more request, just whatever doubts you have, just mention in the comment section, and I'll try to respond each and every doubt. And see you next video. Thanks a lot.